Good morning. Welcome to Lesson 1, Part 22. Quick reminder, the only way this lesson is going to make any sense is if you have the latest version of the first of the practice text, which is entitled the First Quarter Practice Texts. Pretty simple. So if you don't have the latest version in front of you, use the link just below this video, assuming you're on the YouTube page. This video's dedicated YouTube page, which is easy enough to get there if you're not already there. Below that video is the link. Use that link right now to open up the latest free PDF. The link should take you to the first quarter class materials page, and the link you're looking for is number 2 on that page. Can't miss it. Of course, this is your first time watching me. You don't want to watch Lesson 1, Part 22. You want to start with Lesson 1, Part 1. That's just a word to the wise. Okay, I'm going to assume everyone has their PDF open, and you're good to go. We should be on page 6, second exercise. It reads, how could this, let's say weakness, how could I benefit from letting go of this weakness and its causes right now? So there is a superscription or a heading above this exercise that says personal profit. And then it makes me laugh because it reminds me of a short story written by Ray Bradbury, and it's either the title of the story or a prominent theme in the story is, "Hey kids, have fun and earn profit growing mushrooms in your own basement." Yep, teacher's a sci-fi geek. So this is the second exercise where we're actually focusing on ourselves. How could I benefit from letting go of this, and we could put anything external, like our circumstances, or our pain, or our sickness, or weakness, or anything internal, like annoyance, or anger, or fear, or anxiety, or sorrow, or sadness, or the blues, anything at all. So what's going on here is we're as this exercise, as with all these exercises, are assumptive questions. So what's the assumption that we're empowering? We're empowering the assumption that by letting go of this gurk in my life, I'll benefit. Well, that sounds on first glimpse like a big fat no duh. But check this out. We're pretty much hardwired for fear. And that makes sense. Think of it this way. As far as all the animals on this planet, we're not the fastest, we're not the strongest, our claws are not the sharpest, our fangs are not the most prominent. In fact, we're pretty much the wimpy kids on the block, even amongst all the primates. Truly not physically impressive. So it would make sense that our brainstem is hardwired for fear. It could be argued that fear, or at least cautiousness, has kept us alive for a very long time, over the last 100,000 years, give or take, of our existence on Earth. So it makes sense that when approaching this final frontier of letting go, we might be a little hesitant, a little cautious. So we're programming our mind to look for all these reasons, all these ways that letting go of the gurk in our life could be beneficial. Letting go of the neutral stuff in our life could be beneficial. Even letting go of the good stuff in our life could be beneficial. Now this is important. It's hugely important to remember not to confuse letting go with pushing away. So it's been said, simplistically, there's two extremes. There is aversion and there's avarice. And avarice kind of reminds me of the story of Bobo the circus boy. Bobo's not the sharpest pencil in the cup, but he sure likes birds. And whenever someone gives him a bird, he's very happy. And he's just enthusiastic and just lavishes that bird with attention. I will love you, and I will keep you, and I will name you George, and I will take you home, and I will give you a bath, George. Yes, I will, George. Oh, George, you're the cutest bird. You're the cutest bird. Who's the cutest bird? Who's the cutest bird? It's you, George. It's George? Oh, George! No, George! Bobo loses more birds that way, and yet, mystically, they're all named George. So, we're all prone to grasping. Ask the bird, is grasping a good idea? Not so much. Let's pretend Bobo has a sister. We'll playfully call her a Ho-Ho. So Ho-Ho doesn't like birds at all. And if you hand her a bird, she'll say, a bird! Oh my gosh, I hate birds! Ew! And she'd throw it against the wall, and it would slowly slide down. Ask the bird, does the bird think aversion's a good idea? No, not at all. So, while aversion may be the opposite of avarice, while it may be the opposite of grasping, it's not the antidote. The antidote lies halfway between aversion and avarice, grasping and shoving. What's that middle ground? Letting go. Look, there's a bird. It'll fly away when it's ready. That's letting go. So remember, when we let go of the good stuff in our life, we're not shoving it away. Ironically, the more we let go of the good stuff and let it come and go as its whim on its own timetable, ironically, the more open we are to receive more good stuff. Same thing with the bad stuff. When the bad stuff comes, if you shove it away, it's not going to work. But if you let go of it gently, that works very well. In psychology, there's a term, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Sometimes it's called secondary gains, where sometimes holding on to something that's destructive and painful is perceived, at least subconsciously, as being a source of future pleasure. For instance, a kid who may be a crybaby may be coddled, and it may really value that coddling more than the respect of its peers or the dryness of its cheeks. Whether that's real or imagined, that potential exists, at least theoretically. That for everything we grasp, every pain we grasp, every uncomfortable emotion that we grasp, part of us could be scared to let go of it, thinking that by holding on to it, it could be giving us pleasure, or at least safety. That's why we ask, how could I benefit from letting go of this gurk, letting go of this yuck, letting go of this pain, letting go of this weakness, letting go of this sickness, letting go of this anxiety, letting go of this sadness, letting go of this annoyance right now? And so what we're doing is we're using this rhetorical, assumptive, well-worded, mantra-empowered question, we're using it as a crowbar to pry open our fear, the clutches of our fear. And a great antidote for fear is desire. Now, theoretically, that doesn't make sense, so I'll give you an example to illustrate this point. When I was a kid, I was abused. So I was, very nervous, and I was stuttering and stammering, and really did my best, not to get beat up at home and not to get beat up at school. Didn't do a good job of it. But everything changed when puberty knocked on the door. Puberty knocked on the door and said, hey, there's this thing called girls, little boy, and You might want to kiss on one. So once I was in the thrall of puberty, I started talking to girls. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't suave, and I sure wasn't successful, but I was trying. So what happens is, when we hit puberty, our circuits for sexual, social desire kick in, or fully kick in, like never before. That desire to pair bond is a biological need, more powerful than self-preservation. And so that's how Mother Nature gets us to overcome fear. Likewise, by playing with this, how could I benefit from letting go of this and its causes right now? We're cultivating the healthy desire. And we're empowering it and harnessing it to use it to let go of our resistance to letting go. Now listen, there are a lot of myths about Buddhism. A week does not go by that some bonehead on Facebook puts up this beautiful graphic saying, Buddha said thus and such. And the answer is no, he did not. There has been so much gibbledy-glob attributed to Buddha that he didn't teach. And it's the same thing with every religion. There's people who will insist that the Bible says, God helps those who help themselves. That's not written in the Bible. That's a Catholic aphorism. It's not written in the Bible. Likewise, there's a lot of people who think, Buddha said, oh, desire is bad. Don't have desire. No. It's not desire that's bad. Desire is just desire. It's the tyranny of desire that gets us in trouble. Desire can be our boss, or desire can be our employee. Desire can serve us well if it is our employee. If it is our boss, then life kind of sucks. So the Buddha's path is not about getting rid of all your aversions and getting rid of all your avarice. No, it's about lifting the yoke of the tyranny of our aversion or avarice off our shoulders and finding a way to profit from it, finding a way in future lessons to convert avarice into love and to convert aversion into compassion. And in this lesson, to convert both of them into the wisdom of letting go. So let's go through this. Let's play with this externally. How can I benefit from letting go of this weakness and its causes right now? How can I benefit? And then, of course, there would be the wisdom mantra. So, and then the second option could be, how can I let go of this? How can I benefit from letting go of this pain and its causes right now? Or perhaps, how can I benefit from letting go of this weakness and its causes right now? Or perhaps we could do it internally. And of course, this could, once you're more advanced, you could use this for healing. For instance, we could heal a third person. For instance, how could Pat benefit from letting go of her anxiety and its causes right now? Or perhaps externally, how could John benefit from letting go of his congestive heart failure and its causes right now? Many years ago, I practiced Buddha's teachings, and I also practiced psychic healing. And at a certain point, when I was spending hours and hours and hours a day healing people, it dawned on me that Instead of dividing my time and my energy between Dharma practice and healing, I could combine the two synergistically and have a product that was greater than the sum of its parts. We'll explore that deeper or in greater depth in a future lesson. Let's see, how about this? How could I benefit from letting go of this annoyance and its causes right now? And you might be saying, dude, what about the silent meditations? We'll get to them, don't worry, hold your horses. And sadly, how could I benefit from letting go of this sadness and its causes right now? There you go. That's today's portion of Lesson 1. I thank you for your time and your kind attention. I want to remind you, if you haven't already, to click the subscribe button and then remove your cursor and return it, and click the box that lets you get email notifications from YouTube every time I upload another video. Let's see. The Friday series of weekly webinars. That begins November 2nd. You can use the link, one of the links below this video to register for that. I'll see you there.